Welcome back. A couple of weeks ago, I challenged Melissa here to be our first participant in the Woodneath Staff Reading Challenge. I challenged her to read the book Into Thin Air by John Krakauer, which is the story of one of the most tragic seasons in the history of Mount Everest. It's been a couple of weeks now, and Melissa's had a chance to read the book. I know, Melissa, for me, I first read this book on a car ride across Kansas, and I kept wondering, are we there yet? Because I didn't want to arrive at our destination because the book was so compelling to me. What was your experience reading it like?
I expected it to be a lot more fast-paced. I didn't realize that so much preparation went into climbing a mountain at that altitude. They spend a lot of time not on the mountain, just getting acclimated to the altitude and preparing for the summit. In total, I think that each of the characters only spent about 10 minutes on top of the mountain, at least at the top of the mountain.
Sure. Given that and all they have to go through for just that 10 minutes, why do you think someone would want to go through that experience?
Well, I think there's definitely something to be said for being able to have bragging rights saying, I went to the top of Everest, but I think another part of it is that thrill-seeker tendency to stare death in the face and be able to walk away.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I love about books is that you can have that experience vicariously, but you don't have to undergo all of the hardship that goes along with it. Or some of the tough moral and ethical choices, which also happen in this book.
Yeah, there were certainly a lot of dark places. One in particular, there's a group that goes up the mountain right after the night that the bad storm happened, and there are still a few people on Everest that are alive. When the group was walking past, one of the people that was still kind of hanging on for dear life asked for their help, and they just walked by. And I understand that they spent a lot of money to be able to say that they hiked up Everest and to be able to go to the summit, and a lot of preparation, but it was surprising to me that they would disregard another human life like that.
Sure, that was extremely tough to read. This book began as an article in Outside Magazine, and then shortly thereafter, Krakauer felt the need to expand it further into a book. Why do you think he needed to tell this larger story?
Well, some of the things that he had written in the article, and he says this in the foreword, were not accurate, and he found he gained more facts after the article. So I think part of it was that he wanted to make sure that his readers were privy to the most recent and factual information, but also he talks about this as a way for him to deal with the events that happened, part of his grieving process.
Sure. As a reader, I appreciated that fresh perspective, but I also kind of want to hear what his take is now with some time and distance.
Yeah, time heals a lot of wounds. It would be interesting to see if he's been able to move past this.
Sure. Well, Melissa, thank you again for being our first participant. And now it's your turn. You get to challenge someone else, and I look forward to hearing who you select and what book you choose for them, and to hearing both of your thoughts in a couple of weeks.
Well, thank you, Angie. Welcome. This time I have chosen Larry Franklin to do the Staff Winter Reading Challenge. Welcome, Larry.
Thank you, Melissa.
You're very brave for being the second person to do the Staff Winter Reading Challenge. Have you read any Michael Crichton?
I have. A long time ago, I know I read The Andromeda Strain, and I've read Jurassic Park also, some of his classics.
Fabulous. This is one of his newer works, and actually was started by Michael Crichton and finished by Richard Preston, two of my all-time favorite authors. And this book is a murder mystery about nature versus technology, ultimately, which is kind of a tale of survival. Are you up for the challenge?
I am looking forward to it, Melissa.
Fabulous. We will see you in 2 weeks to hear what Larry thinks of Micro by Michael Crichton and Richard Preston.